The moon. Just a celestial body or a hidden battlefield? Picture this, a soft, whispering voice echoing from the dark corners of the cosmos. Have you ever stopped to wonder, what if everything we know about the moon, that silvery glow that's inspired poets and dreamers for centuries, is just a tiny piece of the truth? What if behind that serene, shimmering light there are secrets so wild they'd blow your mind? Military cover-ups, cutting-edge tech, or maybe traces of civilizations that aren't even from Earth. Some researchers, the kind who dare to question the mainstream, believe the moon isn't just a lifeless rock orbiting our planet. It might be a testing ground for global superpowers, a secret base tucked away in the shadows, or even a relic of an ancient cosmic mystery we're not ready to unravel. Here's the kicker: we, the ones who gaze up at the moon every night writing songs and stories about its beauty, might not have a clue what's really going on. Buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the hidden side of our closest cosmic neighbor. Is the moon just a symbol of peace and wonder, or is it a stage for secrets humanity hasn't been allowed to see? What we're told. Let's start with the facts. The stuff you'd find in textbooks or hear from NASA's press releases. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong took that iconic one small step for man on the moon's surface during NASA's Apollo 11 mission, marking the greatest milestone in space exploration. Since then, the Apollo program sent a total of 12 astronauts to the moon between 1969 and 1972. Over the decades, dozens of missions have been launched by the world's top space agencies. The Soviet Union. Now Russia sent automated probes like Luna 16 1970, which brought back the first lunar soil samples, and Lunokhod, the first robotic rovers to roam the moon's surface. China made huge strides with its Chang'e program, including Chang'e 4 2019, the first mission to land on the moon's far side, that mysterious region we never see from Earth. India, with its Chandrayaan missions, discovered signs of water ice in the moon's polar regions. The European Space Agency ESA and Japan JAXA have chipped in with satellites and probes of their own. These missions have given us a treasure trove of data, detailed maps of the lunar surface, analysis of its rocks and minerals, and even the discovery of lava tubes, natural tunnels that could one day house lunar bases. The stated goals: study the moon's geology and its origins. Search for resources like helium-3, a rare isotope that could revolutionize nuclear fusion energy. Lay the groundwork for permanent settlements and turn the moon into a pit stop for Mars missions. On top of that, international treaties like the 1967 Outer Space Treaty set strict rules. No weapons of mass destruction like nuclear bombs can be placed on the moon or in space. All activities must be for peaceful purposes and benefit all of humanity. The moon belongs to no single nation. It's a shared heritage for the world. The Artemis Accords, led by NASA since 2020, double down on this, pushing for transparent and cooperative use of the moon. According to every official report, there's zero evidence of military activity on the moon. Sounds straightforward, right? The moon's just a big science lab, a shining example of global teamwork. But is that the whole story? Something doesn't add up. Even though the official narrative paints a rosy picture, there are cracks in the story. Little details that make you pause and think. Are we being told everything? Weird signals and strange sounds. For over half a century, scientists have picked up hundreds of odd electromagnetic signals coming from the moon's far side, the part that's always hidden from Earth. Some of these signals have frequencies that don't match natural phenomena, like solar winds or cosmic radiation. During the Apollo missions, astronauts like Buzz Aldrin reported hearing bizarre sounds in their comms described as whistling or whispering. NASA brushed it off as radio interference, but independent researchers aren't buying it. Could these be traces of advanced tech operating in the shadows? Flashes and mini-explosions. Satellites like the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter LRO have spotted strange flashes on the moon's surface, sometimes paired with small explosions. NASA says these are just meteorite impacts, a common occurrence on a surface with no atmosphere. But here's the thing. These explosions keep happening in specific spots like near the Aristarchus or Tycho craters. The imagery from these areas is often blurred or glitched in public releases, with NASA citing technical errors or equipment protection. Edited photos. A ton of satellite images from NASA SA and others show certain areas of the moon, especially around big craters or the polar regions, blurred out or edited before they hit the public. One famous example is near the Sinus Medii crater, where some claim to have spotted symmetrical structures that look man-made. NASA says the edits are to safeguard sensitive data or fix processing errors, but that just fuels the skepticism. Secret plans from the past. During the Cold War, both the US and the Soviet Union had space programs with clear military goals. The US's Project A-119, declassified in 2000, planned to detonate a nuclear bomb on the moon to flex its muscles at the Soviets. It got scrapped, but it proves the moon was once seen as a strategic stage. The Soviets had their own plans like Project E-4, which aimed to trigger an explosion on the moon to study shock waves. Were there other projects still classified that went ahead? The mysterious silence. After the Apollo program, NASA pretty much ghosted the moon for nearly 3 decades, only circling back with missions like Artemis in the 2020s. Why would we ignore a resource-rich nearby celestial body for so long, especially with all the tech advances? Some conspiracy theorists argue that global superpowers struck secret deals to keep their lunar activities under wraps, hiding whatever's really going on up there. These red flags lead to a bigger question. Is the moon a hub for covert operations, not just by humans, but maybe by forces we can't even comprehend? What could be happening? Based on these doubts, let's explore some bold theories about the moon's true role, testing top-secret weapons. Some researchers argue the moon is the perfect spot to test high-tech weapons like directed energy weapons (DEWs). Think lasers or electromagnetic pulses that can zap targets without leaving obvious traces. Field technology, creating energy shields to manipulate environments, deflect missiles, or even mess with weather patterns. Next-gen nuclear weapons. Not city-destroying nukes, but devices that emit electromagnetic pulses. EMPs to fry enemy electronics. Plasma stealth tech. Some theories suggest superpowers are experimenting with plasma shields on the moon to hide military operations. Why the moon? No atmosphere energy effects can be measured precisely without interference from air or moisture. No witnesses. Everything happens far from prying eyes. Easy cover-up. A small explosion can be passed off as a meteor strike or natural event. Secret military bases. Another theory claims superpowers have built hidden bases on or beneath the moon's surface, possibly in lava tubes. Natural tunnels recently discovered by probes like Chang'e 4. These bases could be used to store sensitive tech like weapons or spy gear. Monitor rival nations' space activities, especially military satellites. Prep for a future space war when the cosmos becomes the next battlefield. Some conspiracy nuts even suggest these bases date back to the Cold War, built through secret collaborations between the US, Soviets, and others to counter a shared threat, maybe not even from Earth remains of an alien civilization. A crazier idea is that the moon is a remnant of an ancient or extraterrestrial civilization. The evidence, symmetrical structures spotted in satellite images like the so-called Moon Tower near Sinus Medii, or pyramids near Tycho crater. Freaky math. The moon's diameter is roughly 1/400th that of the sun, and its distance from Earth is about 1/400th the distance to the sun. This perfect ratio creates total solar eclipses, leading some to argue the moon was engineered and placed here for a reason. Folks like David Icke go all in, claiming the moon is a giant mothership used to watch or control Earth for millions of years. The moon as a restricted zone. Maybe the moon is a protected area guarded by secret forces, military, alien, or both. Public missions like Apollo or Chang'e could be smokescreens to distract us from the real action. This might explain why NASA ditched crewed moon missions after 1972 despite massive tech leaps. Why certain areas like the far side or polar regions seem off-limits in public missions. Leaked documents from groups like WikiLeaks hinting at classified talks about unidentified operations on the moon, though details are scarce. A cosmic surveillance hub. Another theory posits the moon is a monitoring station used by aliens or secret Earth organizations. Those weird signals and flashes, they could be from devices tracking or communicating with other parts of the universe. This raises a wild question. Is humanity being watched from the closest rock in our sky? Science, history, and myths. To give these theories some weight, let's dig into evidence from science history culture and even fringe sources. Science and Military Project A119, U.S. In the 1950s, the U.S. planned to nuke the moon to show off to the Soviets. It never happened, but it proves the moon was seen as a power play stage. Project Typhoon, Soviet Union. Declassified Russian documents from the 1990s reveal plans to place nuclear sensors in lunar orbit to spy on U.S. weapons tests. No proof it went live, but it shows the moon was on the military radar. Carol Rosin's warning. Carol Rosin, a former aide to Wernher von Braun, the mastermind behind America's rocket program, says von Braun warned of a long-term plan to weaponize space, including the moon, as part of a global control scheme. Rosin claims superpowers are developing space weapons under the guise of science missions. Leaked files. Documents from WikiLeaks and anonymous hacker groups have mentioned secret talks between U.S. and Russian military brass about unidentified lunar operations. Details are thin, but they add fuel to the fire. Strange phenomena. During Apollo 15, astronaut David Scott reported seeing a bright object moving across the lunar sky, unlike any satellite or meteor. NASA never explained it, and the audio only surfaced years later. In 1994, NASA's Clementine probe captured images of symmetrical structures near the Copernicus crater. These were classified and never fully released, sparking debates about NASA cover-ups, transient lunar phenomena (TLP). Flashes or color changes on the moon's surface have been documented since the 19th century by amateur astronomers. Some TLPs line up with areas of weird signals like Aristarchus crater. Mainstream science says it's gas escaping the surface, but could it be artificial activity? In China's Chang'e 4 mission instruments spotted a strange object near von Karman crater described as a cube-like structure, later called a rock. The image went viral on social media and conspiracy forums. Myths and culture. In Hindu mythology, the moon. Chandra isn't just a celestial body. It's a battlefield for gods. Ancient texts, like the Rig Veda, describe sky wars where deities wield cosmic weapons. Could these be ancient accounts of weird lunar phenomena? In Chinese legend, Chang'e was banished to the moon after using forbidden elixir. Is this a metaphor for the moon as a taboo place, hiding secrets from humanity? Some Chinese scholars tie Chang'e to tales of alien visitors in ancient times. In ancient Sumerian culture, the moon god Nana was the keeper of cosmic secrets. Priests watched the moon to predict major events, and some stone carvings depict it as a gateway to other worlds. In Vietnamese folklore, the moon is tied to the tale of Quoy, a man trapped on the moon for lying. Could this story hint at a warning about digging too deep into lunar mysteries? Modern books and conspiracies, the book Who Built the Moon. 2005 by Christopher Knight and Alan Butler argues the moon might be artificial, citing its perfect mathematical ratios with Earth and the Sun. They say this can't be a coincidence. Dark Mission. The Secret History of NASA. 2007 by Richard C. Hoagland and Mike Barra claims NASA hid evidence of alien structures on the moon, like crystal towers and pyramids in Apollo photos. Recent posts on X as of April 2025 keep the moon conspiracy hype alive, with users sharing images from Chang'e 4 and Artemis pointing out odd objects or man-made structures. Some posts even claim superpowers are working with aliens to maintain a no-go zone on the moon history and politics. During the Cold War, the USA And Soviets poured billions into space programs with military agendas. Beyond A119, the US had Project Horizon, 1959, a secret plan to build a lunar military base for weapons and surveillance. It never launched, but it shows early ambitions to militarize the moon. Today, the space race is heating up between the US, China, and Russia, with programs like Artemis Tiangong and Luna-Glob. Some analysts say these aren't just about science. They're about controlling strategic spots on the moon like the water-rich polar regions. Letting you decide. Take a moment to let it sink in. If even a sliver of these theories is true, if the moon isn't just a quiet rock but a secret battlefield, a military outpost, or a monument to civilizations beyond our wildest dreams, then does that silvery glow, the one that's inspired love songs and starry-eyed dreams, still feel as magical as it once did? Or is it a reminder that in this vast universe we're just spectators, watching a show we don't fully understand? So what do you think? Is the moon hiding something right there in plain sight? Or are these just wild stories spun from stray signals, unexplained flashes, and ancient myths? Tonight, look up at the moon, stare into that cold, silvery light, and ask yourself, what's it trying to tell us? Is it an invitation to explore, or a warning that some secrets aren't meant for us to uncover?